Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lizzie and I've been on a healing journey with MEN1 for 5 years. Today I am sharing a kind of hilarious video called How Do I Train Myself to Like Avocado? It sounds like a joke, but there's a really serious point underneath this. How do I stay consistent with what I know supports my healing, but when I don't always enjoy it? Today I'm going to unpack this because in MEN1, there are so many things that we are told will help, but knowing them and then actually doing them are not the same thing. Stay with me, whether or not you like avocado, because I think there's going to be something for you to take away from this. The first point I want to make is that the body doesn't always want what it needs. Just because something is good for me doesn't mean I'll immediately enjoy it. And in fact, the benefits I tend to reap from the stuff that's good for me are very much a delayed response. It's delayed gratification. And in the world of today, we're so used to instant gratification. A lot of the foods that I was taking, rhythms and practices that I was in, or that supported my healing actually felt so boring or even like repellent. And I was questioning whether or not they were making any difference for such a long time. But I've realized that discomfort in something doesn't always mean it's misaligned or that it's not working or it's not right. Sometimes it's just unfamiliar. And I think what I'll say about myself and what I see in the population is that we're so reluctant to commit to give something long enough for it to work. Again, because of that used to being instantly gratified, we have to give things to work. We have to give things time and space to work. And I think my body's had to really relearn what nourishment feels like. And that's difficult for the mind because it's so delayed and it's so questioning whether or not it's working. But for me, I have to remember that my body is what it needs, is not necessarily what I want to give it in the moment. This brings me on to my second point, which is that the mind is very much trained by repetition, not motivation. And I think we think about motivational speakers and people who've been really successful and, oh, I feel so motivated to do this thing. I don't think motivation works for me in MEN1 in the way that it might do for some other people in their field of expertise. I used to wait until I felt like doing the healthy thing. I was like, oh, that will really appeal to me at some point. It's just not right now. The truth is that motivation is like, it's fleeting. Not even fleeting, I would actually call it futile. What's helped far more is actually treating these healing, healthy habits like choices I have to want, if that makes sense. Like skills that I'm training in a way. I didn't always want to take the supplement. I didn't always want to drink 3 litres of water or sit in silence with my feelings. Who wants to sit in silence with their own feelings? But the more I did it, the easier it became. And eventually the thing that I was resisting was the very thing that I was looking forward to because I knew the results it was going to give me on the other side. So it's really not about force. It's about consistency with compassion. I don't bully myself into habits. I hate running. I'm not going to go out on a run. I'm not going to sign up for a marathon. I'm sorry, it's just not me. But I invite in new things more often and I give them time and space to work. And I don't expect them to land straight away. And I think that's so important. Repetition, not motivation. The third point I want to make is that I never ever look forward to pulling on my gym leggings in the morning, but I do the thing. And once they're on, I'm like, right, now I feel so, I've taken the next step and it's just one more step to get into the gym. And I think I've learned to associate choices not with the moment that I'm doing them, but with the way I feel afterwards. And that after feeling becomes the vision that I'm heading towards, the goal that I'm heading towards. And it gives me energy and it gives me clarity and it gives me focus and a sense of alignment. So now I don't ask myself, what do I feel like doing right now? Because I am never going to feel like eating, something really healthy versus a chocolate bar. I start asking myself, like, what is myself in 24 hours, more like, going to thank me for? I actually think it's more tangible for me to think about myself journaling the next morning. What is my journaling self the next morning going to write down in her gratitudes? That I was grateful that I skipped my morning routine and found an excuse for it, or that I went and I did it? And trust me, that answer more often is going to be to do the thing I'm resisting. So if you're stuck in forcing yourself to do things that feel good for you and they're not clicking, I would say start small, stay curious, and be really kind to yourself. Like, you don't have to love it today, but if it supports your healing, it might become something that you actually learn to enjoy and that you learn to lean into. And that's going to come from repetition, from discipline. It's the least sexy word ever, but practicing something out of habit. And that is how I've got to where I am with my condition now, without constantly, consistently, continuously practicing the same healthy habits for the last 5 years. I wouldn't have laid the foundations for those big shifts and big changes that I have now. I'm not heading into surgery anytime soon. I have no symptoms. I came off my last medication a year ago, and I'm healthy and I'm happy and I'm thriving. There's no way I'd be doing that without the small, consistent steps that I'm taking every single day. It's not about the massive, like, wow announcements. It's the really small things. And I put a lot of them into a free guide below. Click the link in the description box, pop in your email, and it will let me send it to you. Those are the tangible things I'm doing now that got me from looking at my 3rd surgery on my pancreas within a decade to probably never having to have pancreas surgery again. In fact, never having to have pancreas surgery again. That's my decision. I really hope you've enjoyed this video today. Thank you so much for bearing with me. I really appreciate the fact that you are here. Why don't you share this video with someone who you think could enjoy it? And I will look forward to seeing you next week.